Can we treat doping in exercise and in competitive sport separately? The line between amateur versus competitive sport. Young people often start taking part in a sport because they love being active. Some then stop being physically active. Some stay engaged with sports for fun and fitness. We classify them as amateur athletes or exercisers. A few excel in their sport and become competitive athletes. As citizens, substance use regulations apply to them whether they practice a sport or not, and if they do, whether it's competitive or just for fun. However, those who are competitive athletes are subject to a special set of rules laid out in the WADA Anti-Doping Code. Doping use in amateur sport and exercise is both widespread and increasing. Users' age ranges from teenagers seeking the perfect physique to elderly men wishing to maintain a youthful look. Public health experts and doctors estimated that up to 1 million people in the UK are taking anabolic steroids and other image and performance-enhancing drugs. The report found that although motivations for use of those drugs were complex, 56% used them for aesthetic purposes. Half of the people surveyed by the BBC in 2017 believed that doping was widespread in competitive sport. Although this is not borne out by official statistics, such beliefs then act as norms. That, in turn, could drive subsequent use. When someone believes that doping is common amongst people they identify with or look up to, it can be an incentive to do the same. In social psychology, this is called descriptive norms. Descriptive norms motivate behaviour by pointing to something that appears as the most effective or opportune thing to do in a particular situation. In other words, by suggesting that this is what most people do. At one point, if enough people follow the same behaviour, the behaviour becomes normalised. This is a social process through which ideas and actions come to be seen as normal and are then taken for granted in everyday life. Our perception of normal doesn't separate the normal from the ideal. This means that once a type of behaviour that may initially have been disapproved of, like doping, becomes more familiar, it also becomes more acceptable. Research in recent years has shown that in every realm of our lives, normalisation can have a complex and hidden influence on our beliefs and decisions. We talk about drug use becoming a normalised behaviour when 1. The drug is easily available. Access to doping substances is easy through gyms, trainers, other users or the internet. 2. Drug trying rates in adolescence and young adulthood increase. Surveys show that the initiation age has now shifted to early 20s and that some start as young as 10. 3. Usage rates increase. Not only user rates, but the variety of substances used have increased. 4. Members of the public, especially non-users, make allowances for sensible use and a more tolerant attitude. 5. There is a degree of cultural adjustment to the phenomenon. Within the media, the phrase "on steroids" has been used to represent a positive attribute for a product, and references to steroids is increasingly used in marketing. Research shows that doping in competitive sport is still viewed very negatively by the public, but that attitude is slowly shifting towards a more permissive view, particularly amongst younger people. This permissive attitude, however, does not extend to the superstar athletes. As part of the Safe You project, we performed social media mining on specific doping cases on Twitter, YouTube, and Google+. We also carried out data analytics and sentiment analysis techniques on the collected data. Analysis of the Twitter comments posted for high-profile doping cases such as Lance Armstrong, Maria Sharapova, Tyson Gay and Marion Jones shows that the dominant public sentiment is anger. Would you draw the same line for all types of athletes and exercisers?